r/AskReddit. What was your last random act of kindness? Found a cat with a roll of thick duct tape around her neck and mouth. She couldn't eat and was barely breathing. Took 20 minutes to unroll it because she wouldn't stop scratching my hands. Little girl was sitting next to me on a 8-hour plane ride. She was about 5 or 6. I gave her some of the food I was eating and my neck pillow to sleep on. It melted my heart and made me really happy. Found out a co-worker I don't get along with made a small but embarrassing mistake at work. I called her to let her vent and to encourage her. My old neighbors are gone every other week because the wife has cancer and it's really sad because her dog is so attached to her. When I went to feed him he would eat a lot. Now he just sits there sad and doesn't even move without his mama. The couple is so nice. Stupid cruel world. I watched an iPhone fall off the roof of a car in front of me. Pulled over and got it before someone else could run it over. Called the first number I could on the phone and got an address. Returned it. We were about to empty and scrub my kid's little pool since it was scummy after a ton of rain. But it's full of tadpoles. We'll empty and scrub it when our froggy friends are all grown up and leaving for froggy college. It's Canada Day here today. Happy Canada Day everyone. And all day there were big celebrations in my small town. There's a stage with music and some blow up kid slides and other things. Face painting. Rock painting. Water gun painting. Street hockey tourney. Street food. More fun games at the beach park. And of course fireworks. It was loud. So in the early afternoon my mom and I, bought 30 pinwheels and 30 balloons and we just went around and gave them to kids that didn't already have one. Felt nice seeing their smiles. Me and this other guy, don't know him, both hit something on the interstate at 2 AM. My car was fine but he had a flat. I was about to leave but he looked like he was on the verge of tears so I decided to stay and help him. Turns out he was driving from Virginia to Nashville. TN. This happened about 100 miles away from Nashville so he was relatively close, and he just bought the car and never changed a tire before. I changed it for him. He offered to pay but I told him no. He'd need the money more than me anyway to replace the tire. I was at Goodwill waiting for my wife after paying. Saw a lady in line dump out her change purse on the counter. And I heard the cashier say it's not enough. I walked over and asked how much he owed. 40 cents. So I put 40 cents into the lady's hand and said have a nice day. She seemed equally happy and embarrassed. I hope she likes her new outfit. My buddy's living out of a tent. I don't have much money myself. But I do have a place to live. So me and my other buddy took into the store for some extra food, water, and bug spray. I took my elderly neighbor, she's 95, to the cemetery to plant flowers on her husband's grave. It wasn't kindness, but true appreciation for this lovely lady. I'm a mail carrier. I pay postage dues. I also put extra stamps on letters when I know they need more postage. I don't tell anyone. I just pay the clerk. Just was in a craft store. Went down the aisle that has all the letter patches. I spent a good 10 minutes rearranging all the letters back to where they go in the correct order and color after someone had spelled all sorts of curse words with them. A mom at a gas station was trying to pump gas while holding her crying baby so I got the baby's attention and started making confused faces and tilting my head like a dog. Crossing my eyes and such. Kiddo calm down a bit so mom could do her thing. I had a homeless person riding a bike ask me to help her find her phone. I help her, she told me her number that I dialed. She's freaking out thinking someone stole it. Only for her phone to ring that landed between the wheel and the handlebar and was on the brink of dropping. She was so happy that she blessed me. Was in line at a combo grocery drug store. Woman in front of me had a cart full of staples. Nothing but necessities. She was paying with cash and food stamps. The bill was $10 more than she had. I gave her a 20. Told her to keep the change. I could see her eyes welling up as she thanked me but I just told her to pay it forward if she's ever in a position to do so in the future. She got the biggest grin on her face as she wiped away her tears. Several weeks ago I found a peacock in the road on my drive home. Someone had hit him and obviously kept going. I checked to see that he was alive. And with the help of a passerby we got him carefully to the side while waiting on the local bird sanctuary. Originally I thought he must be dead. And I wanted to move him out of respect. When I saw he wasn't. Just barely. I thought he must be close. And so I meant to stay until he passed. So he wouldn't be alone. At least. I stayed for nearly an hour. Calling over half a dozen places who each referred me to the others by automated messages before finally reaching someone who could help. And in that time only 3 people stopped to ask anything. The man who helped move the bird. And 2 passing cars after about 40 minutes. I find that very sad. Every other car passed right by. The saddest part is that I could hear the other peacocks calling the entire time. I don't remember if they pair-band. But I can't believe they don't miss their friend. Edit. There are so many organizations for helping animals. Please do consider donating to them. We can help in our own ways. Like this. And children can help. too. This isn't an answer, but I just want everyone to take a moment to appreciate how fucking wholesome OP is being with his replies. I pick up trash on my way to school. I get a lot of rude comments and my friends refuse to help me even when I've got armfuls of rubbish. But they're just being selfish and can't see the bigger picture. Someone I know recently fell on financial hard times. I put money in an envelope and dropped it into their post box anonymously. It wasn't much, but I know they needed it more than me at the time. Paying for someone's meal. A homeless lady at McDonald's asked me if I could spare her $1 to buy an apple pie because when she begged for loose change, people dropped random foreign currency coins into her box. She showed me her coin collection, mostly Malaysian ringgit, unusable in this country. If she changed it, she would have literally 40 cents in local currency. So I offered her my chocolate pie because it tastes better than an apple pie and I had already bought it anyway. She was genuinely happy and ate it really slowly to make it last. Later she came back to ask if I had any leftovers she could eat, and actually started digging in my burger wrapper. I was horrified and told her to stop, and that I was more than happy to treat her to any meal she wanted. But my sentence was cut short by a staff member who came up to her with a bag of food. He told her it was from the manager on the house. She abandoned my leftovers and took the food while thanking them profusely. I wonder how she's doing now. Elderly lady misdialed and left a voicemail extending an invitation to some event she was holding. She sounded so hopeful that it was heartbreaking to think she might feel rebuffed or neglected while not realizing they'd never received her message. I called her back to let her know she needed to recheck the number she'd tried calling so no one missed her event. It turned out that she was trying to arrange for her 90th birthday later this year. Today I got a metal box and Mentos and filled the box with them and gave that to my sister randomly. A couple days back I gave her Mentos for her name's day cause she likes them and she was so happy. I did this because she always needs small metal boxes and loves Mentos. About a month to a month and a half ago, this cat started hanging out in our backyard. She's really pretty and my kids liked playing with her, so I'll let her hang out back there. She also helped get rid of the gophers in our yard. Then late last week she disappeared for a day, which is the longest she's been gone since I've seen her. Today, she brought her newborn kittens into our yard, to the little makeshift home we made up for her. They are about 4-5 days old. I got in contact with the Humane Society here and we are going to be fostering them until they are old enough to be adopted out. They will all be vaccinated by then, and spayed or neutered. Then go to good homes. I'm allergic to cats. Edit. Thank you for the gold. Kind stranger. The wind was blowing about 45 miles per hour, not an exaggeration, and it was so cold. I saw 2 homeless people huddled by a dumpster trying to stay out of the wind. I wanted to give them enough money to go to a fast food place and eat and get out of the wind for a while, but when I opened my wallet I only had $100 on me. I gave them $200 and told them to go get a room for the night. I really hope someone rented one to them. A blind woman in front of a petrol station looked like she had lost her bearings due to a large surface of indistinguishable concrete and was almost walking onto the road. I asked if she needed a hand to get where she's going. She thanked me as I walked her home. I have left teachers their favorite snacks on their desks. I work maintenance. Read that as not janitorial. I've paid for extra cups of coffee at the gas station, so the next 2 or 3 people get free coffee. I've paid for $10 worth of gas for the next person to come in to pay for gas. Stuff like that. Helped a young guy with money for gas and got him a couple of cold drinks, since he was stranded and it was scalding today. Peace to you, James. Formerly of Miami. My co-worker loves peanut butter and has been having a shit month lately, so I bought her a 4-pound jar of peanut butter. I have a game I play every morning when I go to convenience store. I will buy the first person I see at the coffee counter their coffee. The game is I try to get my stuff, check out and get in my car before they even realize it happened. It's only a .99. It makes me smile and it's a good way to start the day. The clerks know. And just ask who's coffee today. Guy in front of me at McDonald's spilled his drink while walking to his seat. Everyone stared, so I shit my pants in line to take the attention off of him. Today on the way home from work, suddenly construction that took 4 lanes down to 2. Didn't have a chance to get over before I saw it and traffic was packed. I crawled my lane as it dwindled down and one guy thought I was intentionally trying to pass everyone, so he leans out and waves his middle finger at me. I managed to get in a bit ahead. Looked over to see someone crawling up in the same manner and they were pretty much out of lane. I stopped and made a hole while waving them in. 90 degrees in bumper to bumper traffic and they had all the windows down with kids in the back. Wasn't about to make them sit any longer than necessary. My workmate is deaf in one ear, partially deaf in the other. His hearing aid broke recently and he couldn't afford a new one. I started up a collection at work and surprised him with about $250 for a new one. Refreshed a video for a friend of mine on it like 100 times so he can get 100 views. Today. Actually. Sort of. I was out shopping at Target with my parents and there was this kid crying because he didn't want to go home and take a nap. And all I was thinking was, dang. Kid. All I want to do ever is take a nap. I jokingly turned to my mother and said, Mom, I really want a nap. Can I go home now? My mom responded, no. We have to finish shopping. Also in a joking way. That was when we realized the kid had noticed. So I followed up with, please. Mom, I want a nap so bad. I want to lie and be like the kid. Then told his mom he wanted to nap and the mom thanked us and went home, but the kid just looked really confused. Along the lines of, who the heck is this weirdo lady who wants a nap? She's a fully grown adult. Why is she asking her mom for a nap? The mom did smile at us though. And the kid did stop crying. Even though he was throwing shade through his side eye. We just chuckled and kept shopping and joked around some more. I sent someone a Domino's gift card on Reddit. From the Random Acts of Pizza sub BC, they mentioned they were living off ramen cup noodles. I did that in college and literally lost 20 pounds. I was severely underweight and so hungry and so ashamed about it. So I hope this person passes along the kindness when they can. And maybe other people will too. I work at a big name grocery store. A few weeks ago, an elderly lady from a nursing home down the street wrote us a letter and mailed it to our store asking if we could donate some puzzles to the nursing home because that is how she spends her free time and she has completed all the puzzles that the home has to offer. There is a bunch of policy bullshit on what we can and cannot donate and to who, so I skipped the store. Bought puzzles myself and delivered them personally to her on my lunch break. Her reaction was worth more than I could ever give her in puzzles. Made my day and hers, I think. Not so random. I serve food to a few cats on my street. They take turns on my front yard. You know, if I can't remember how to answer this question, then I think it means I need to take a good long look at where I am in life. In my defense though, acts of kindness ain't easy when you're constantly broke and exhausted. I took a neighbor down to the recycling center to sell some of the metal scrap he'd collected. He has no car and really no money for a bus pass. So I took him down there when I had recyclables too. And wanted to see this place. He only got about $4 and 50 cents out of about 16 pounds of scrap. I was at Costco and they had Adidas slides with that real comfy cloud foam stuff, but they only sold men's sizes 8-13. The large majority of boxes said size 11-13 and I was searching for an 8 or a 9. I found one pair of 8s and put them in my cart and continued to search for a size 9 because that's the size I really wanted. Another lady was there also trying to find smaller sizes and specifically wanted a size 8, so I gave her the 8s in my cart. Was at the drive-thru at McDonald's Ike. Anyway, I saw a lady who was really old using one of those walkers trying to get into the door, struggling whilst doing so. I jumped out of my car even though there was about 10 anxious PPL behind me waiting to get their food and ran to her aid and opened both front door and inner entrance door for her. I figured the PPL in line could wait a little longer for their quarter pounders. That made my so-so McDonald's meal just a little better. Rented John Wick 2 and Talladega Nights from the library and the cases were badly damaged. So I replaced them with new DVD cases. Thank you for the award. I was going to a concert. And my friend wanted to go but couldn't afford it. She seemed like she wasn't having a great time. Exams were happening and everything was stressful. So I offered to buy her a ticket. And we went together. She seemed really grateful and she had a good time. So it was worth it. Just saved a lizard from a glow trap, guess that counts. On a real note, I work at Six Flags in culinary and I was working cash register and this lady was $1.30 off and I went to the back, got my personal money and paid for that amount. Sadly, usually people don't even realize when people like me do this. So like I deck why I did it. I left in and out last night truly satisfied. The dude sweeping held the door open for me. I told him thanks for being here man, we really appreciate you. And dipped. I legit can't top reading this because OP is so chill lol. I go to a mom's group and my son only likes certain baby snacks, so when I've been given the wrong ones I just pass them on to someone whose child will eat them, and opened of course. In school the other day, I saw a kid who always looked lonely by himself at lunch. I'm very awkward. And have known my friends for years. I wanted to go up and start a conversation but I was too nervous. So when he wasn't looking I walked by and stuck a note onto his backpack that said something along the lines of "People care about you. Remember how awesome you are." I'm not sure if it doesn't count because I didn't go up to him, but IDK it's what happened. A guy came in our university for PhD interview. He wanted to take a shower and mine was the only room in hostel open since I had taken permission. Open bathrooms were a mess. So I'll let him take a shower. Then helped him meet some students from his department so that he can have an idea about it. Felt good. While it's nothing compared to a lot of other people's posts. I made my brother a grilled cheese sandwich today. I lent a black shirt to a little girl in my son's play when she forgot to wear her black underlayer for the dress rehearsal. Gave a local bum $20 US at the bar so he could have a few beers. My kid came home from grade school and told me that his music teacher had her electric bass stolen from her car. She lives in kind of a rough area but was upset because she played it in a band. I had a project fall through and a decent electric bass gathering dust, so I emailed her and told her it was hers if she wanted it. Didn't want anything for it. Nothing about tax write-offs. Nothing about donation. Just take it to replace what was stolen because I know what it's like to lose gear and it sucks. My kid brought it in and I never heard anything about it. I wasn't expecting anything but it just seems like it kind of went into an abyss. I see her a few times a year and she knows who I am but she has never said anything about it. A homeless guy in a wheelchair asked me to push him a few blocks this morning. We've met before. And he knows I'm up for it if I'm walking that way anyway. Was waiting outside at my new landlord's workplace. Waiting to get my keys when a homeless man, around 50-60, approached me. He had trouble walking and talking. He asked me if I could buy him dinner. I said yes of course and we went in a Subway that was nearby. While getting there he asked me if he could get the big one, the 12-inch Subway. I told him pick anything he'd like. His eyes got so bright. Like a child on Christmas morning. I went out and bought a pizza for my found family after everyone, including myself, had a rough day. I didn't expect anybody to eat from it. But the next morning it was all gone. Note: I only had 3 pieces out of 14. Random short but powerful storm blew through town recently. My mom, my 2 sisters, and I were eating at Panera. Rain started pouring and the winds were strong enough to blow over the umbrellas at the outside tables. I saw a lady who looked to be about 65 or so running from her car to the parking lot with her umbrella guarding her from the strong winds and rain. She was trying to get across the parking lot as quick as possible. As soon as I saw her, I jumped up to hold the door for her. It doesn't sound like much, but if you were there to see that the winds were capable of blowing that little old lady over, you would have understood. Sure enough, seconds after she steps inside, a massive gust of wind hits that may very well have blown her over. She thanked me profusely after this. It felt really good. Currently feeding a stray cat who has vision problems. She sleeps on our back patio chair. Gave my sister, who is friends with a trans person early in transition, the discords of 2 of my trans friends, just in case he needs help. Gave a homeless guy 2 cups of water. In this heat who wouldn't? I gave a random elderly person a rubber tip for their cane because theirs had worn out. I'm sometimes at the medical supply store so I pick up a few extras each time. They never notice when theirs has worn out and it's actually very dangerous. Maybe I've saved someone a fall. In any case, it makes people very happy when they get a free cane tip. Paid the order for the person behind me in a drive-thru last week. Didn't know him. Just felt like it. Putting a shopping cart back for an older gentleman. Promised my new friend I would take her out for her day. When she told me no one ever did much for her birthdays. Had me so sad. Saved a stray kitten by the side of the road earlier today. I spent about $30 to $40 giving food, burgers and fries and waters to whoever wanted it, to about 10 homeless people. I stopped by each of them before I went to ask them what they all wanted. So I bought all the food in one go and walked about 5 blocks back so I could deliver all their different orders lol. Some people just wanted waters. Others wanted nuggets. And a couple wanted burgers and fries and a drink. No biggie for me. That money was just gonna sit there in my account if I hadn't spent it. And I got to make sure they were full for at least the night. Walked to the grocery store by my house and recognized the lady outside who usually asks for help. I bought her food before to eat. And a hot drinks during the winter. I went over to talk to her and asked if she needed anything. She needed food to feed her kids. So my cousin, who was with me, and I went into the grocery store and picked up everything she needed for her kids, cereals, snacks, fruits, and gave it to her on the way out. Paid for some random person's coffee behind me last month at Starbucks. Adopted a struggling family with a Make-A-Wish child to live in my house and share my finances. Out to dinner with my family and they were being jerks to our server. I left a tip that rivaled the cost of the meal as a whole. They saw it and gave me shit for being overly generous, sorta proves my point I think. Tipped $100 because I wanted good karma after giving up on finding love. It's random-ish. I made 3 carpenter bee traps for my very large wraparound wooden deck. I ended up giving them all to my father-in-law because he had mentioned his bee problem near his wooden barn. The guy is always there for me and my wife and I couldn't ask for a better fill so I ran over and dropped them off when I was done. I can always make more. I don't know how truly random it was, but we successfully completed our 15th escape room over the weekend. We decided to bring cupcakes for everyone that works there, not just the Grams. They seem to really enjoy it. Brought my assistant coffee today. Helping a lady at the dump get all her rubbish off a ute. Not much but she was happy. I walking around in a supermarket when I saw small old lady struggling to put 24-pack of water bottles into her driving cart thing. I walked over to her, asked if she needed help. I was going to help her either way, and I put 3 24-pack water bottle into her cart. She gave me a hug and told me to have a blessed day and it felt amazing. Edit. She asked for 3 packs of water. She did get help putting them in her car from the employees. And I work at a Chick-fil-A so this whole my pleasure. Thing is a force of habit, so it was more like I insist more than holding her at gunpoint while I put water in her cart. Paid for the car behind me at Taco Bell. It's nice to see a genuine smile in the review mirror. Witnessed a hit and run on the freeway coming home from work this afternoon. It was a minor impact. Nothing serious. I tried to chase the arsehole, but my Scion couldn't keep up with his riced out Honda. So I turned around and gave my number to the guy he hit, so he at least has a witness to help him out. If you want to get nothing in return, you can like and join my Discord. There is a link in the description.